If you're ready to pursue manufacturing for your part assembly that consists of multiple components, you don't need to stress about finding the right solution. That's because in this video, we will go over the differences between sourcing individual components or their assembled counterparts and how you can find what works best for you. Individual components refer to the individual layers required for an assembled component. After these components are manufactured, they're then delivered to you as individual parts. It would then be up to you to determine how to assemble these individual components into their completed final part. On the other hand, component assembly sourcing is where a completed final part is delivered to you fully assembled. These final assemblies will be composed of all the individual layers you would have received and had to assemble yourself, and it would require no additional assembly effort on your end. Sourcing individual components is typically going to be your lower part cost option. The combined cost of all the individual components for your device is typically going to be lower than a cost for the fully assembled part. The reason this occurs is because for a fully assembled product, it requires a more complex manufacturing as well as more labor time to complete, and this is reflected in the price per part. Conversely to your price per part cost, production costs tend to be lower for fully assembled products because you're not assembling any of the components. For this process, you tend to see a lower production cost or lower total production cost than your price per part, which is typically higher for the fully assembled product. Sourcing assembled components is typically more scalable than the individual components because your converter is going to create an automated process that allows for it to be ramped up as your product demand ramps up. On the other hand, sourcing individual components is going to require significantly more investment on your end in both time and money to figure out how to automate the process in order to scale up your production. If you see high volume in your future, we recommend sourcing fully assembled components. When it comes to tolerances, there are many pros and cons that need to be considered when discussing individual components or their fully assembled counterparts. Fully assembled components typically have the best option for maintaining precision tolerances. However, it is possible for your tolerances to be too tight, which makes it infeasible to run on press. For this reason, we recommend discussing tolerances with your converter early in the design phase. The choice between sourcing individual components or assembled components depends on many factors, such as production volume, design complexity, budget, and timeline. Planning for the assembly process and manufacturing feasibility is crucial, so it's important to engage with your converter early in the design process to ensure the right choices for your product. If you have any questions about component assembly manufacturing, you can check out our Learning Center online or reach out to us directly. Thanks for watching.